Welcome to Hometown Happenings. I'm Carol McCarthy here today with Kelly Blackledge and Lowell Deedy, a biologist here at the Tamarack National Wildlife Refuge, and we are here on a beautiful March day. And
no,
it can't get much better than this. And we're here because National Wildlife Week is coming up, and I'm going to have Kelly and Lowell talk a little bit about the week designated for wildlife.
That's right. This is the week. Wildlife is very special to the Fish and Wildlife Service, of course. In fact, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is really touted as one of the premier conservation organizations in the world. Our mission is to provide habitat for wildlife, to protect, preserve, enhance fish, wildlife, plants, and habitats.
Right, excellent. And Lowell is here because we want him to talk about the theme for this year.
That's right. Well, the theme this year is branching out. Wildlife that use trees and branches, to survive. There are, especially in the wintertime, that trees are very important to protecting and providing a warm place for wildlife in many cases. And one of probably the most unique and notable species that the Fish and Wildlife Service has helped provide habitat for is the bald eagle. And Lowell's going to share a little bit more about the bald eagle and the habitat we provide here.
All right, excellent. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk to Lowell Deedy here at the Tamarack National Wildlife Refuge. Welcome back to Hometown Happenings. I'm Carol McCarthy here at Tamarack National Wildlife Refuge on this beautiful March afternoon, and standing here with Lowell Deedy. He's a biologist here at Tamarack. And Lowell, you came back in 1990?
85, yes.
And that was when when bald eagles were kind of a dying breed.
They were starting their recovery at that time, and on Tamarack we had between 6 and 8 or 9 nests, and now, 25 years later, 28 years later, whatever it is, we have about 32 nests that are on the refuge. And since the information that we're gathering indicates that they've probably plateaued. And I know initially when I was here, I thought that, when we went from 9 to 12, well, we're saturated. We don't have room for any more nests. Then it went to 16, then it went to 20, and it kept on going. We do have new nests that appear every year that we discover. We try and do an eagle flight for production, usually about the end of June. The eaglets around this area generally fledge about the first part of July, and so we try and make a flight before that to get reproduction. And usually we'll find new nests when we're up in the air. You get the bird's eye view looking down at the nest, and it's a little bit easier than driving around during the spring and summer. And we've got the cues from previous years too, where we know where those nest trees are, and go back and look at those in the spring as the birds are coming back now to kind of get an idea of nest occupancy. If a nest is not occupied, well, maybe that means that they've built another nest and they're in their territory, but have just not come to the particular nest that we're viewing right now and are aware of. So it's a pretty dynamic situation that we look forward to every spring.
Mm-hmm. So do eagles? Do they come back and do they go, build a new, bigger, better nest, or do they come back typically to their own nest?
Usually they come back to the same nest. It is their unless the tree is broken off or the nest is fallen down, then they've got to build from scratch. And if they have to do that, they won't be nesting and laying any eggs that particular year. Oftentimes, when they come back in the spring, they're in a territory very close to where the nest is located, and a lot of the nests that we have are at the edges of lakes or along river courses, some open areas, and even though they may not be in the nest, just peer around in some of the trees, and you could find them on some of those branches.
Mm-hmm. Do some of our storms, is that where some of the nests get lost? Have we lost a lot of nests due to storms in the past couple of years, or?
It varies from year to year. Some of the high wind events are definitely a problem or an issue for the loss of existing eagle nests, but there's still a lot of trees around, and they will rebuild. Oftentimes, they will actually rebuild or build a new nest, a second or an alternate nest, because they might be sensing that something isn't quite right with the tree or the nest tree that they're utilizing, and so they'll have an alternate nest, and they'll start using that one when it fits them.
Okay. Lowell Dede is my guest today on Hometown Happenings, and we're going to take a break and be back with more after this. Welcome back to Hometown Happenings. I'm Carol McCarthy here at Tamarack National Wildlife Refuge, talking to Lowell Dede. We're talking in light of National Wildlife Week, which is coming up on March 18th. Getting ahead of myself or behind myself. But this year's theme is branching out, and Lowell studies eagles out here at Tamarack National Wildlife Refuge. And Lowell, how many nesting eagles do we have here at the refuge this year?
We have about 32 pair last year, and that may be, we look at it to be pretty similar in the upcoming year. It doesn't change a whole lot, but there could be some circumstances, some accidents where birds are not coming back, and that could open up some new territories. Plus, it seems that every year we do find some new nests, so that's always pretty interesting and exciting.
All right. Are there any eggs that you know of? Any eagles laying on eggs right now?
Not in the local area here, but there is a pair down in the Twin Cities that apparently has laid 3 eggs about the 1st of January. So that's very early.
Excellent. I know a lot of people have posted that on Facebook and the social media, that the Eagle Cam. So you can always check out the eagles with modern day technology, which is great.
Definitely, yes, yes.
Well, Lowell, thanks so much for talking to us today.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yes.
And we'll hopefully see you around.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Lowell Dede here at the Tamarack National Wildlife Refuge, a biologist studying eagles, and Kelly Blackledge back again here. And Kelly, is there anything that you would like to say to folks during National Wildlife Week?
Well, absolutely. I just encourage folks to come out and celebrate wildlife. Take a drive out to the refuge, bring a young person in your life, and share some nature with them. The refuge, although we're going through the energy retrofit and the visitor center is closed, the refuge itself is open. So you can drive out to the refuge. There's lots of great things to see. You never know, you might see an eagle's nest along the way. The wildlife drive will be opening April 15th. So that'll be a great day. As long as the weather holds out, you can drive up to Tamarack and see lots of wildlife. Celebrate wildlife this National Wildlife Week.
Always a wild time with Kelly Blackledge. From Tamarack National Wildlife Refuge, I'm Carol McCarthy for Hometown Happenings.